Wednesday, May 3rd, and this is your coffee break on the HAN Network. I'm Kate Czaplinski with the latest local news, including a Darien student hit while getting off of a school bus yesterday, a man charged in a Stratford moped death, and much more. Frank Granito will have a look at your forecast and later on a Nutmeg sports update, and Donald Ang will also join us to take a look back on this day in history. But first, Stratford police arrested on Monday a man accused of hitting a moped rider who died of his injuries after that collision on February 17th. 27-year-old Itis Wilson was charged with negligent homicide as well as reckless endangerment, reckless driving, and misconduct with a motor vehicle after he was arrested on a warrant. Police said Wilson's vehicle struck a motor scooter being operated by Richard Rodriguez the evening of February 17th. This happened on K9 Road near Mary Avenue. Rodriguez later died of his injuries at Bridgeport Hospital. Police said an investigation found that Wilson had been traveling 59 miles per hour on K9 Road. The posted speed limit there is 25 miles per hour. Wilson was ordered held on a $15,000 bond and is scheduled to appear in court on May 9th. And Bridgeport police are investigating a shooting on Reed Street that left one man dead late Tuesday night. Now, the Connecticut Post reports that the man, who has not been identified by officials, was found dead by police when they responded to the scene around 11:30 p.m. Tuesday. Detectives and staff from the Chief State Medical Examiner's office remained on the scene Wednesday morning. According to police, they are waiting on a positive identification by family members before releasing the name and age of that victim. And in other news, in Darien, a 7th grade student at Middlesex Middle School was hit by a car Tuesday after that driver passed a stopped school bus that student was exiting at the time. That, according to Principal Shelley Somers. The student was described as okay by Somers in an email to parents Tuesday night, though she was transported to the hospital and treated for cuts and scrapes. According to Darien Captain Don Anderson, the 35-year-old male driver was cited for passing a school bus as well as distracted driving. Anderson said the collision report is still in the works and not yet completed. Janice Marzano, program director for the Depot Youth Center, said there's no reason ever for drivers to ignore a stopped school bus with children exiting, and added that part of the problem is so many drivers texting while driving. The outcome in that situation could have been much, much worse, she said. Anderson said he could not answer whether the distracted citation was due to officers concluded the driver was texting until he saw the report. But there's more on that story at DarienTimes.com. And former Trumbull Board of Education Chairman Stephen Wright has been rearrested on DUI and failure to appear in court charges. Wright, who was arrested 4 times for DUI between February 22nd and April 10th, had been ordered rearrested after not showing up for one of his court dates on April 20th. According to the Judicial Department website, Wright posted a $25,000 cash bond after New Haven police arrested him on that failure to appear charge. He's due back in court May 9th. Wright was arrested February 22nd by Norwalk Police, February 27th by Shelton Police, March 17th by State Police, and again April 10th by Stratford Police. He was released twice on promises to appear and also posted bonds in 2 of those arrests. Now, in his April 10th arrest, he was charged with driving while his license was suspended due to the prior drunk driving arrests. Wright's cases are pending in Norwalk, Bridgeport, and Derby. Wright, an attorney, was chairman of the Trumbull Board of Education from 2004 to 2012. He's currently serving his 2nd term on the State Board of Education. And state police have arrested a registered sex offender for allegedly enticing a minor from Tennessee to travel to Hartford in order to have sex. Police say that on March 28th, a 13-year-old juvenile became the victim of sexual enticement in Tennessee as a result of online contact with Andrew Cunningham. Cunningham also attempted to have the Tennessee victim travel to Hartford via a bus in order to engage in sexual contact. Now, the Computer Crimes Unit, assisted by Hartford Parole, started an undercover investigation related to that complaint. Between April 11th and May 2nd, troopers and Cunningham continued to communicate, with Cunningham making arrangements for the presumed 13-year-old victim to travel to Hartford in exchange for cash. Well, on May 2nd at about 11:15 in the morning, detectives from state police, along with Hartford parole officers, arrested Cunningham at Union Station in Hartford without incident. He now faces several charges, including attempted second-degree sexual assault and enticement of a minor. Andrew Cunningham is currently on parole and a registered sex offender in the state of Connecticut. That's related to a 2014 criminal case in which he traveled to the state of Illinois to have sexual contact with a minor. And in some sad news, recently retired Darien Police K9 Grizzly, a 3.5-year-old chocolate lab, died on Monday after his bone cancer took an aggressive turn. That according to Superior K9 Services, who had taken him back after retirement. Now, according to a post on Facebook yesterday by Frank Rita of Superior K9, the cancer had deteriorated Grizzly's pelvis so quickly he was unable to stand or function. Rita said, "As I sat with him outside waiting to be called for me to carry him in, my family and I sat there, comforted him, but by the look in his eyes, it sure felt like he was trying to comfort us." He said he was a truly special dog that was a blast to hang out with, and he said, "Thank you for your service, K9 Grizzly, and thanks for being you." The Darien Police Department reported that Grizzly was medically retired from service back in April. There's a lot more on that story at DarienTimes.com. And the House of Representatives voted 141 to 8 Tuesday to pass and send to the Senate a bill that would make Connecticut one of a half-dozen states barring conversion therapy, the discredited practice of trying to change the sexual orientation of young homosexuals. The Connecticut Mirror reports the bill would enshrine in state law the conclusions of the American Medical Association, the American Psychiatric Association, and other national associations of health professionals. Homosexuality is not a disease, and forcing conversion therapy on a minor can be harmful. Now, Governor Daniel P. Malloy, who had submitted testimony in support of that bill, applauded the strong bipartisan vote and promised his signature upon passage by the Senate. Well, let's switch gears now, throw it over to Frank Granito for a look at the forecast. Frank.
Thank you, Kate. And while we won't be seeing those same gale force winds from yesterday, it's still pretty breezy out and cooler today with periods of sun and clouds expected this afternoon. A high of 62 today. Wind gusts are between 15 to 20 miles per hour. Partly cloudy this evening and overnight. Chilly temperatures dropping down into the 40s before Thursday morning. Spots of sunshine to start the day tomorrow before making way for increasing cloud cover around the county. Still chilly out, temperatures staying in the low 60s before a muggy Thursday night. Overcast skies, scattered showers carrying into Friday morning, and lots of rain on Friday. It looks like sombreros may be substituting as umbrellas for Cinco de Mayo. On and off periods of rain at heavy times throughout the day, and early predictions for almost 2 inches of rainfall. There's chances of flooding in low drainage areas around the county. Heavy showers are expected to continue into the evening and overnight. That's going to do it for the weather. Let's go back over to Kate.
All right, thanks so much, Frank. We're going to step out for a break. When we come back, Donald Ang will take a look back on this day in history. Frank has your Nutmeg Sports Update, and there's more news coming up after this. Have a sports injury or a slip and fall that needs immediate care? Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care gives you direct access to an orthopedic specialist fast, without an appointment. Biking, golf, tennis, soccer, whatever the sports injury is, sprain or fracture, Coastal Ortho Express can help. Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care open Monday through Saturday, now at 3 locations: 131 Kings Highway North in Westport, the iPark building at 761 Main Avenue, Norwalk, and 36 Old Kings Highway South in Darien. Or go to coastalorthoexpress.com, like them on Facebook.
Want a new experience in car buying? No aggravation, no confrontation, just answers to all your questions. SCAP Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Car buying the way you want it to be. With one of the largest selections of new 2- and 4-door Jeep Wranglers available, we are Connecticut's Wrangler headquarters. Located in Fairfield, Connecticut, we're easy to get to. Just 2.5 miles off the Merritt Parkway, exit 44 via Route 58 South. Save thousands right now during the spring clearance event, now through April 30th.
Wild Birds Unlimited.
At Wild Birds Unlimited of Brookfield, get expert advice from our certified bird feeding specialists. We offer always fresh, clean seed that will be sure to attract birds to your home feeder. Experience our excellent customer service. Open 7 days a week. Visit us at 317 Federal Road, Brookfield.
Wild Birds Unlimited. We bring people and nature together.
You don't have to go far for authentic Neapolitan cuisine and renowned wood fire pizza. Pizzeria Loretano of Bethel is a contemporary Italian bistro, specializing in authentic wood-fired brick oven pizza Napoletana. Pizzeria Loretano was named one of America's top 1,000 Italian restaurants in 2008 by Zagat, and recommended by Jane and Michael Stern on National Public Radio's Splendid Table. Located close to the Bethel Cinema, we focus on quality, and our food is always made to order. Join us for live jazz Sundays from 6 to 8. Find our schedule, menu, and more at pizzerialoretano.com and like us on Facebook.
At Worcester School, we believe summer is a time for kids to be kids. We provide the safe and nurturing environment for them to find activities that match their interests and allow them to create lasting friendships. Summer at Worcester offers 7 weekly sessions at our Danbury campus from Monday, June 26th through Friday, August 11th for pre-K to grade 8. Find out more about our extended hours, new optional lunch program, and a new low price at summer@worcester.org or 203-830-3921. Summer at Worcester, experience the difference. Family and Children's Aid has been serving the community since 1809 and is now the largest outpatient children's mental health care provider in Western Connecticut. Our innovative services include providing shelter to homeless moms and children, substance abuse intervention, mental health counseling, and foster and adoptive services, among others. Our goal is to provide individuals and families a safe haven and hope for a brighter future. Find out more about us at fcaweb.org and call our Danbury campus at 203-748-5689. A Better View Window Cleaning Plus has been cleaning glass all over Connecticut for over 20 years. They also specialize in cleaning chandeliers, mirrors, skylights, tiles, and will power wash anything that needs cleaning. They hold an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau and are fully insured and bonded. When you deal with a Better View, you're dealing with the best, not the rest. Call today for a free estimate, 203-284-8836, or visit them online, abetterviewcleaning.com. Welcome back to this May 3rd edition of your Coffee Break on the HAN Network. I'm Kate Czaplinski, and it's time to take a look back on this date in history with Donald Eng. Don.
Well, Kate, an entire major American sport saved from extinction by 2 pieces of cable. First, though, we go to 1715, a total lunar eclipse visible across Europe and northern Asia. Now, you've probably heard of Halley's Comet. This has become known as Halley's Eclipse because astronomer Edmund Halley, who was really good at predicting things, calculated the eclipse to within 4 minutes but was off on the location by about 20 miles because of inaccurate lunar tables, which Halley then fixed. To 1948, the U.S. Supreme Court rules in Shelley versus Kramer that covenants prohibiting the sale of real estate to blacks and other minorities are legally unenforceable. The case began the previous year when the Shelley family bought a house in St. Louis. You're looking at it right there in the middle. Unaware that a restrictive covenant had been placed on the property way back in 1911, prohibiting the people of, quote, the Negro or Mongolian race, unquote, from occupying the property, Louis Kramer, who lived 10 blocks away, sued to prevent the family from moving in. The court ruled that individuals have a right to own property and that while individuals could sell land to whomever they wished, a landowner could not restrict who a future landowner sold the land to. To 1980, 13-year-old Carrie Leitner of Fair Oaks, California, is walking along a quiet road when a car swerves, strikes, and kills her. The driver, Clarence Bush, is legally intoxicated and has a long history of drunk driving arrests, including another hit and run just the week before. Carrie's death compelled her mother, Candy Leitner, that's her there, to found the organization Mothers Against Drunk Driving, which would grow into one of the country's most influential nonprofit organizations. Bush would serve less than 2 years in jail for the fatality. Leitner took action against what she called the only socially acceptable forms of homicide. Finally, now we go to 1987 in Alabama for this.
One of the real we have a problem. Bobby Allison with a horrible crash here on the front stretch. It has torn out a complete section of protective railing separating it. Alan Kowicki becomes involved.
Debris is collecting other cars. There was a lot of debris in the front stretch. Kowicki was involved. Richard Petty, I think, is another one of the cars. Lots of debris on the front stretch. Now, Bobby's car, to me, appeared to stay together quite well. He did get up into the fencing, but not into the stands.
It's Ricky Bobby references flying in the studio here. That was Bobby Allison crashing at Talladega Superspeedway. The catch fence, designed to protect spectators from debris, but not 3,400-pound cars at 212 miles an hour, disintegrates. It was a pair of 2-inch cables just installed against the track owner's wishes that rubber-banded Allison's car back onto the track, and there were no fatalities. Had that car gone into the stands, NASCAR simply would not exist today. The crash led to safety improvements such as restrictor plates and aero flaps to keep cars on the ground, but the practice, as you saw there, of having drivers race at speed through crash sites would persist for 16 more years. That's your look back in history for today, May 3rd. I'm Donald Eng.
All right, thanks so much, Don. Well, in other local news, the theft of $50,000 in computer equipment from a construction site is under investigation by Stratford police, and officers are looking for a suspect. Police said someone stole the equipment on April 18th from a construction site on Barnum Avenue near Agresta Terrace. Police said a suspect entered an equipment truck and stole equipment manufactured by Trumbull. The equipment is valued at $50,000. Some pieces are marked Dowling number 2. Anyone with information is asked to contact police at 203-381-6902. Let's throw it back over to Frank Granito now for a Nutmeg Sports Update. Frank.
Thank you, Kate. We were live at St. Joseph High School yesterday for the HAN's coverage of Wilton and St. Joe's in boys lacrosse. This one not going the way the hometown team had hoped. Wilton an 11-3 winner on the day as they routed the Cadets. St. Joe's went nearly 3 quarters without scoring a goal. They scored at the 4:23 mark of the first quarter to make it 2-2. 9 Wilton goals later, with 5:45 remaining in the game, Kevin Faustich was able to break through again, and that would be where we stood. Brian Calabrese and Connor Drake each had a hat trick for the Warriors. Joseph Murtha scored 2 goals, and Kieran McGovern and Peter Koch each had a goal, and Andrew Calabrese coming away with 9 saves and the win. Jared Malazzi had 2 goals for the Cadets. Let's look at the highlights from yesterday's game.
Great defense by Andrew Hoffman there. Really been impressed so far with the Wilton D.
Oh, how about the quick pass from Drake out in front? Calabrese picking the top right corner. 3-2 Warriors. What a look.
Great fit.
Malazzi off the screen towards the front of the net. Shot on goal, and he gets his second of the afternoon with 4:23 to go. And we are tied up at 2. Plenty of options on this offensive attack as heading to the front of the net. Was he in the crease? No, it counts. Calabrese picks up his second, and the lead is up.
Really is. Those teams really could make a difference here and see a great goal by the Wilton Warriors.
What a pretty play there. McGovern had everyone fooled thinking he's about to shoot, and standing all alone on the back door was Brian Calabrese.
So a big win for the Warriors, who move into 4th place in the conference. St. Joe's clinging to the 8th and final playoff position now. Other scores from boys lacrosse yesterday saw Ward over Trinity Catholic 20-9. Ridgefield running away from West Hill 19-3. Darien also a 19-3 winner over Staples. New Canaan on top of Ludlow 12-3, and Trumbull edging out Norwalk 12-8. On the girls' side of the lacrosse field, St. Joe's falling to Ridgefield 17-9. Weston a winner out of conference 7-3 over the Black Knights. New Canaan 14-9 over Fairfield Ward. Greenwich 18-7 defeats Norwalk, and Staples a 13-7 over Wilton. Huge win for the Lady Wreckers. Unfortunately, no Nutmeg Sports this afternoon. We're on our way to Darien for softball. The first place Darien Blue Wave in the East Division hosting the Fairfield Ludlow Falcons. We will be on the air at 3:40 though with an elongated pregame show giving you highlights of yesterday's game plus catching you up on all the baseball and softball action from around the conference on Tuesday. That's going to do it for this Nutmeg Sports Update. Let's go back over to Kate.
All right, thanks so much, Frank. Well, in other local news, a Bridgeport man was arrested last Friday for a burglary in which 2 motorcycles were taken from a garage in Trumbull last month. 22-year-old Deshaun Flores of Division Street was identified by Trumbull detectives as one of 2 suspects captured on surveillance video. According to police, on April 16th, a resident on Hurd Road in Trumbull awoke to find that 2 motorcycles had been stolen from their locked garage sometime overnight. An investigation identified Flores as a suspect from surveillance video. Detectives were already familiar with Flores from several prior burglaries and dirt bike thefts, for which he is currently on parole. Police also found a picture of Flores on the internet sitting on one of the stolen motorcycles later on the day of the burglary. Detectives also observed Flores operating the same motorcycle recklessly on Reservoir Avenue in Bridgeport. On April 28th, Bridgeport police apprehended Flores on other charges and recovered both stolen dirt bikes. He was later turned over to Trumbull police and charged with burglary, second-degree larceny, and criminal trespass. And Connecticut and national ocean advocates, including Richard Hyman of Weston, are headed to Washington, D.C. for the Blue Vision Summit from May 9th to the 11th. The summit will work on solutions to defend Long Island Sound and the oceans from threatened federal budget cuts, attempts to expand offshore oil drilling, and denial of the impacts of climate change, including coastal resiliency in the face of sea level rise and extreme weather. Now, the 6th Biennial Blue Vision Summit starts Tuesday, May 9th at George Washington University. May 10th will be the largest Healthy Ocean Hill Day in U.S. history, when citizens from more than 22 states will go to Capitol Hill to meet with their elected officials to discuss protecting federal agencies such as NOAA, EPA, FEMA, and the Army Corps of Engineers from budget cuts. But there's much more on that story at thewestonforum.com. And the Darien Athletic Foundation announced yesterday that the Darien Foundation led a group of philanthropists to enable the Darien Lights Brigade capital campaign to reach its goal of raising $750,000 by May 1st. Achieving the funding goal paves the way for installation of state-of-the-art LED stadium lights to begin next month. Now, Pan Dysenchik, executive director of the Darien Foundation, said that the foundation commends the tireless fundraising efforts of the Darien Lights Brigade and are delighted to provide a $25,000 grant, which got the brigade to its $750,000 goal. More on that story at DarienTimes.com. We're going to step out for a break, and when we come back, we're going to recap some of the top stories we're following today on your coffee break after this.
At InSports Trumbull, the game is always on inside. Sign-ups are now open for one of our most popular programs, the New England 80 Elite Lacrosse Division I and Division III Showcases. With D1 and D3 coaches in attendance, players will receive a 60-minute webinar with Director of Recruiting Hans Hansen, a custom NE80 penny, custom shorts, and a video of all games. Last year's event sold out quickly, so sign up now for the next showcase coming in January 2018. Like and follow us on Facebook.
When it comes to considering the outside of your home, just imagine the possibilities. Whether your dream is a stunning freeform pool or a tranquil, secluded garden, the team of professionals at Stonebridge Associates will make it a reality. We offer unparalleled landscape design and construction, masonry development, pools, spas, and water features, as well as landscape and garden maintenance. No other firm can offer the same level of creativity, quality, and personal attention. Discover the possibilities at stonebridgeassociates.net or call 203-544-8376 today.
At the Milford Bank, we offer an extensive selection of lending products and services to meet virtually any need. Submit your application online in our Mortgage Web Center. Start to finish, you can apply for a loan in as little as 10 minutes. Our knowledgeable and helpful staff are available to meet with you at your convenience. To learn more about what we can do for you, stop by one of our Milford Bank offices or visit us at milfordbank.com. The Milford Bank, always there. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
On time, done right, safe and reliable. Mr.
Let our satisfied customers tell it.
I have called Mr. Handyman for every reason, every occasion, every broken item, every leak. They have bailed me out on many occasions, and I would recommend them to anyone.
For any project, large or small.
MrHandymanCT.com.
Pizza to satisfy even the most demanding critics. Tuesday Pazza Pizza.
I'm Tracy Masella, a licensed clinical social worker at Silver Hill Hospital in New Canaan. Join me each month as we talk with experts on the front lines of the treatment of mental health and addiction. Straight Talk with Tracy, a Silver Hill Hospital production, airs at 12 p.m. on the second Thursday of each month here on the HAN network.
Welcome back to this Wednesday edition of your Coffee Break on the HAN network. I'm Kate Czaplinski, recapping some of the top stories we're following today. Stratford police arrested on Monday a man accused of hitting a moped rider who died of injuries after a collision back on February 17th. 27-year-old Itis Wilson was charged with negligent homicide, reckless endangerment, as well as reckless driving and misconduct with a motor vehicle after he was arrested on a warrant. Police said Wilson's vehicle struck a motor scooter being operated by Richard Rodriguez on Canaan Road near Mary Avenue. Rodriguez later died of his injuries at Bridgeport Hospital. Police said an investigation found that Wilson had been traveling 59 miles per hour on Canaan Road on the night of that incident. The posted speed limit there is 25 miles per hour. Wilson is scheduled to appear in court on May 9th. And Bridgeport police are investigating a shooting on Reed Street that left one man dead late Tuesday night. The Connecticut Post reports that the man, who has not been identified by officials, was found dead by police when they responded to the scene around 11:30 p.m. Police detectives and staff from the Chief State Medical Examiner's office remained on the scene Wednesday morning. Police said they are waiting on positive identification from family members before releasing the name and age of that victim. And in Darien, a 7th grade student at Middlesex Middle School was hit by a car Tuesday after the driver passed a stopped school bus that she was exiting. That, according to Principal Shelley Somers. The student was described as okay by Somers in an email to parents Tuesday night, though she was transported to the hospital and treated for cuts and scrapes. According to Captain Don Anderson of the police department, the 35-year-old male driver was cited for passing a school bus, as well as distracted driving. Anderson said the collision report is still in the works and not yet completed. Janice Marzano, program director for the Depot Youth Center, said there is no reason ever for a driver to ignore a stopped school bus with children exiting, and added that part of the problem is so many drivers texting while driving. She said the outcome in this situation could have been much, much worse. Anderson said he could not answer whether that distracted driving citation was due to texting. There's more on that story at DarienTimes.com. And former Trumbull Board of Education Chairman Stephen Wright has been rearrested on DUI and failure to appear in court charges. Wright, who was arrested 4 times for DUI between February 22nd and April 10th, had been ordered rearrested after not showing up for one of his court dates, April 20th. According to the Judicial Department website, Wright posted a $25,000 bond after New Haven police arrested him on failure to appear in court charges. He's due back in court May 9th, appearing on the Norwalk and Bridgeport courthouse dockets. But there's a lot more on that story at TrumbleTimes.com. Let's throw it over to Frank Granito now and take one final look at the forecast. Frank, more sombrero jokes for Cinco de Mayo?
No, just one sombrero joke today, but we're looking at a breezy afternoon coming our way. Not as bad as yesterday. Winds between 15 to 20 miles per hour. A high of 62 for the day, and we're going to see periods of sun and clouds moving through the afternoon before temperatures drop down into the 40s overnight. Spots of sunshine to start the day tomorrow, and then we'll see increasing cloud cover in the afternoon. Still chilly out, temperatures in the low 60s again, but it'll be muggy Thursday night. Temperatures in the high 50s, and we could see some showers that'll carry over into Friday. And Friday going to be very wet around the county. On and off periods of rain all day long, heavier at times. Early predictions right now for almost 2 inches of rainfall. There are chances of flooding in low drainage areas, and we'll see those heavy showers expected to continue in through the evening and overnight as well. Should be a better weekend, Kate, but Friday is going to be a tough one to get through.
All right, Frank, thanks so much. Well, we're going to wrap things up here. Coming up at 12:30, CT Pulse, we're going to be talking about that lawsuit against the town of Wilton and the Board of Education. We'll also be talking about our interview last week with S-Town producer Brian Reed. No Nutmeg today, but live softball on the HAN network, right, Frank?
4 o'clock at Darien. Fairfield Ludlow Falcons and Darien Blue Wave will be on there at 3:40 with the Market pregame show for you.
All right, thanks so much, and we will see you tomorrow for your coffee break at 11. Have a great day.